Joining us riding the chair here this morning is Matt Tinker, and Matt Tinker is one fine skier and a guide, and also something that he is very passionate about, snowmobiling. Welcome, Matt. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing this morning?
I am living the dream,
That's
Matt.
great.
Pretty excited about the storm coming. How about you?
This is going to be great. I don't know if I'm more excited about the skiing or the riding out after the skiing.
Right.
So it's going to be a little bit of kind of a treat for kind of everybody.
Maybe a little of both, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I really think so.
Now, we're talking about snowmobiling lately, and I know the Arnold Trail Snowmobile Club has got their big giveaway tonight. They did some great grooming out there, but some people want to go on trails, and some people might want an adventure. How can you help out?
That's definitely it. I take folks out on guided trips, folks that have never ever been on a snowmobile before. Sometimes they get out and we'll just take them out and do a nice easy run right around the Bigelow Range or something like that, or maybe over towards Rangeley up on Quill Hill and get some views.
That's beautiful.
So we can stay right on the trails. For those people who may be a little more advanced, they've ridden a couple of times, we'll take them on, maybe a little out looking for some moose on some ungroomed terrain, or you never know. Sometimes it's just complete powder, and those days are always fun when that happens too.
Let me ask you this: you know where the moose are, don't you?
I've been known to know where the moose are. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Last time we went out, I think we saw 3, and the folks were like, "Well, we'd like to go out. If we happen to see some moose, that would be great." And oh, there's one. Oh, there's another one. And so they're out there. They're definitely
some people
out
have
there.
never seen a moose.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing is, getting folks out there and just to see the moose. When we're riding sleds, you have a chance to get way out in the woods where you don't normally get. There's places that I can't bring you in my truck, or sometimes even on a 4-wheeler that I can get to on a snowmobile. Just the access is great. You get 2-3 feet of snow, suddenly everything smooths out, all those big bumps, and then you're heading up the mountains, and next thing you know, you're in Caribou Pond Valley.
Love it. Love it. You must have some favorite places that you go, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of my favorite rides to bring people on actually is going around the Bigelow Range. It's just a spectacular ride. We come around the front side first, so we get the view that we have here every day from the mountain looking across, and then you come around and you see the backside of Little Bigelow. We'll usually stop at the Bigelow Lodge for a little warm-up if we need to, and then kind of continue the ride on the backside right along Flagstaff Lake. So that's a really beautiful ride, and it doesn't take too long, and if somebody's a little more experienced, then we may go around and add a little bit more time to it, but most of the time, that's for most of beginners, kind of early people, that's about 4-hour ride.
4-hour ride.
Yeah, it's a 3 3/4 realistically.
Well, let's talk about that for a moment, because some people, if they've never ridden before, 4 hours might be just the appropriate amount of time. It's an 8-hour rental for the machine. Can you break that out?
Yeah, sure. There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. If you want to come up and rent a sled from Flagstaff Rentals, they have 4 hours. They have for 4 hours and 8 hours. There's single machines, and so just one person, or there's a 2-person machine, so yourself and a child, or you and your spouse, if you guys don't want to, one of you doesn't want to drive, or you want to take turns driving. So you can kind of do that. You can go for the half day, which most people, a half day is absolutely fine. A full day trip, often if I'm guiding a full day trip, we'll go right around somewhere, maybe go over to Rangeley, or over to the Forks or something like that, and grab some lunch, and then we'll come back. So I like to do the Rangeley trip because there's some really nice loops that we can kind of ride around, and go see some real scenic places, and stop for lunch over in Rangeley is real easy. There's a lot of places. As far as the guiding thing and the watch and win, which is the important thing here.
Absolutely.
We are offering the $300 gift certificate towards a full day rental for a single snowmobile. However, like you're saying, it might be a little too much for someone. So one thing that we're going to do is to change it up a little bit is, if you're like, I think I want to go with somebody else, we'll give you a double rental and a guided trip for half a day. So it'll be a 4-hour trip with a guide with a 2-person sled. So you could bring your spouse or your child, and or if you want to rent a couple other sleds with your friends, that's always a bonus as well.
Well, snowmobiling has come a long way, and if someone that may have done it a long time ago and today, there's there's a significant difference in the comfort level of a machine, and Flagstaff Snowmobile Rentals has got some new sleds, and even that back seat looks pretty darn comfortable.
It really is. You know, back in the days when you used to ride the old, you know, carburetor right here, bah, and it just stunk like, you know, the mixture of the fuel. Today's snowmobiles are actually, you know, 4 cycles, so you don't have the smell. Right, so it's a lot better. The suspension from before we'd ride, and it's like riding this bench, and now it's, yeah, okay, I need to speed up, and if I ride about 25, 30, the suspension really starts to work, and, you know, it's a really good ride.
And they must handle a lot better.
They handle so much better. The way that the companies have kind of changed where you sit on the machine, so you're not riding way back like a low rider, you're kind of up more over it. It's a little easier to turn, kind of like when we talk about skiing and trying to get forward a little bit. You know, same concept has come into snowmobiling for sure.
Yeah. So get yourself a snowmobile rental. The brand new machines over there. I mean, you can get one of the older ones if you want, but if you enjoy the aroma, they have choices there, and they also have some boots and helmets. Because if someone's not a snowmobiler, they probably don't have those. Right?
You know, that's definitely a lot of the folks that we get that'll come down from the mountain here. We've got the clothes to wear. We've got the mittens. We've got the gloves. That ski helmet's not going to cut it for snowmobiling. You know, we need to put something a little warmer on, and most of us show up to the mountain in hiking boots or something like that, and we wear ski boots the rest of the time, so we don't necessarily have warm boots.
Correct.
So, you know, we do offer helmets and boots for folks, so they do stay warm.
Right.
It's always good to throw a couple of hand warmers in your pockets. That never hurts.
Right.
Just because you never know, it does get cold. All the snowmobiles do have hand warmers on them. The newer ones, the 2-person ones, not all of them, but some of the new ones that we have actually have hand warmers for the back rider as well. So that's kind of nice. So the rider can be in the back bouncing around, and their hands are still warm, you know, they're not so cold.
Right. So I think there's a learning process here too. I mean, once you get a guided tour and you learn the right way, you know, there are some safety things that you need to know, hand signals and things of that sort. They can all glean that information from a guided tour too, right?
Correct. Yeah. Safety is the #1 thing when we're out there. You know, it all sounds fun. It looks exciting.
And it is.
It really is. It's also very dangerous. I mean, we are riding machines. We're not strapped in. This is why we have helmets. We're going 30 miles an hour. I've been known to maybe go 50 or 60 miles an hour sometimes. And, you know, at that point, if for some reason you fall off the machine, you can get hurt very quickly or hitting a tree. So it is all about safety. And, you know, when I have a guided trip, I'm slowing down where the turns are to make sure that the folks are safe. You know, we're always keeping an eye out for different obstacles sometimes. You know, if I see an obstacle in the trail, I'm slowing down. The hand signals are very important. There's been a movement in New Hampshire lately, actually, to get rid of the hand signals.
Really?
Yeah, because when I'm riding along, I have 2 hands on the wheel, and as soon as I go like this for a hand signal, now I have 1.
Interesting.
If I hit something, I could lose control a little bit easier. So, you know, there's a little bit of back and forth on whether the hand signals are a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, with all the traffic that we have around here, I think hand signals are actually a pretty good thing.
Well, we had our game warden on, and he was talking about, you know, when you're going around corners, how you have to stay on one side or the other.
Sure.
You know, and these are things that you'll learn.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like driving a car, you know, and when we're out there driving a car, we stay to the right side of the road. We don't drive down the middle. We don't drive wherever. If we're coming down, all these trails are, you know, they're pretty much a groomer width wide. I think most of us watching can, you know, picture that. So there's enough room for snowmobiles to go both directions. And if you're over on that left-hand side and there's somebody coming around, things get really ugly really quickly. So it can be very dangerous. Just like riding the road, you want to stay to the right. You're always looking for traffic coming. You know, it's you know, the little bit of common sense that goes with it.
And the Arnold Trail Snowmobile Club has got that new double-wide doobie, too, so that does some great grooming, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does some great grooming,
Conditions are good.
Conditions have been fabulous, We had a little bit just before Christmas, you know, we had that little ouch, and holy cow, with just a little bit of snow, things have been recovered, The groomer's been out there pushing stuff around, kind of moving things around to fill in some holes. It's the last time I was out, it was fabulous. I took a trip up to, just a short trip up to Quill Hill and did a loop over through the Kennebago Mountain and around, and it was pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
How do we get in touch with you to take a tour?
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is actually through Flagstaff Rentals, because we need to coordinate working on the rentals and stuff. However, that number is 246. Oh no.
we can do it.
What is that? 246-4276, if I recall.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So that's the easiest way if you're thinking about doing a rental thing. The other thing that we do occasionally is folks will show up and they have snowmobiles and they've never been here before. And they're bringing a friend with them, and they might just want to rent one snowmobile. They're not renting a whole bunch. They're not sure about getting a guide. Grab a guide anyway, because I can still show you around. I'll show you some of the back things. I'll show you some of the intersections, directions to different areas that you may or may not want to go. So, and at that point, you can go directly through Flagstaff Rentals, or you can call me directly, and that number is 570-8857. And that's my cell number. And oh no, I'm going to get nailed with stuff now.
It could take a lot of trips to learn the insight that you can get from one guided tour.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Matt, always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Thanks for having me on.
Get out there and enjoy it. We're going to give away a rental. Whether you win that or not, please give Flagstaff Snowmobile Rentals a jingle and try one of those new sleds. I know they are pretty sweet.
They are so fun to ride, for sure.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Tinker joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Take a tour with Matt Tinker. Give him a call today.